Okay, so here's who to listen to. Pretty much no one, to be honest. Hello and welcome to Perspectives. I'm Randy Taylor, founder of Taylormade Leadership, creator of The Winner Within and Elevate Training and Development Programs, and author of The Lost Journals and Elevate. Oh, and also eternal believer in your ability to become anything that you can possibly imagine. Do you ever wonder why it's so hard to believe in ourselves? Here's a clue. This is a story that I heard a number of years ago that is absolutely true, that really lays credence to this tremendous challenge of why we struggle so much in life. The story is of a psychology professor one day that walked into the first day of a semester on Psychology 101 at the university into a lecture hall, and he walked up on the stage, probably 300 or 400 students in the auditorium, didn't say a word, and he walked up to the chalkboard on the stage, and he wrote 2 + 2 = 4. And he put the chalk down, and he turned around and looked at the students and started, walking around and looking at them, and the students sat there quietly, attentively, no one saying anything. So after a moment or two, he turned back around and he rubbed out what he had written, and again he wrote 2 + 2 = 4. And this time he turned around and he started looking just a little bit agitated. He was walking around the stage and staring at the students and getting a little bit closer to them, getting into their personal space, and no one said anything. So again, he went back to the board and rubbed out what he had written, and again wrote 2 + 2 = 4, and slammed the chalk down. This time he walked out into the audience, into the lecture hall, very, very perturbed and very agitated, and got right up in the face of a number of the students, got very close in their personal space, and they were, very taken by this, but still no one said anything. So one more time he walked back to the board and he rubbed it out and he wrote 2 + 2 = 5. And by the time he turned around and looked at the audience, there were a half a dozen hands up in the lecture hall. And he pointed to one young lady and he said, "Yes, miss." And she said, "Sir, you wrote 2 + 2 = 5. I believe that's wrong." And the professor smiled for a moment, and he looked at her and then looked very stern. And he said, "Isn't that amazing, miss? Isn't that fascinating? 3 times I get it right, nobody says a word. Once I get it wrong, and you can't wait to jump on me. Class dismissed." And he walked out the door. The first lesson of Psychology 101. What an incredible lesson for all of us to learn. Think about this. How many times in life do we focus on how many we get wrong instead of how many we get right? What do you think happens to that information that goes in the files in the subconscious mind that begins to challenge us again and again and again to say, "I got that wrong, and I got that wrong, and I got that wrong, and I got that wrong, and Mary made 2 mistakes on her spelling test, and Johnny got 7 wrong on his geography assignment, and Roger missed his quota 2 months last year." Instead of saying Roger made his quota 10 times, and he's 2 months away from a perfect record. But we don't say that. That's not what ends up happening. And so my message to you is that, would it be amazing if we could turn the world around and we could change everyone and begin to have this focus on how many we get right to build ourselves up instead of how many we get wrong to tear ourselves down? Yes, you can affect the people within your own charge. People at work, your family members, your kids, we can impact that. But here's, I think, the most important lesson is that life is going to unfold the way life unfolds. But we can make the decision of how we're going to react to it. That we are going to be the person in our own personal lives that starts paying homage to how many we get right instead of how many we get wrong. And it's another one of those integral steps in growing your belief and in growing your confidence and convincing you of the person that you have always been and the person that I know that can create anything that you set your mind to. Thanks again for joining us for this edition of Perspectives. The subscribe button is here down below the player. I invite you to subscribe and learn more about upcoming sessions. Hit the share button. Share this with family and friends. It's my goal and my great dream to share this with as many people as I can. Until next time on Perspectives, I'm Randy Taylor. Have an amazing day and be well.